I am not moving, or I'm taking this thing with me. Jesse Miller from the U of I is here this morning, and Jesse, you've crafted like a mini heater here.
Yes. So I get a lot of links. People will send me links to YouTube or whatever, about certain things. And this one's going around YouTube. It's a heater that you make with tea lights. Yeah. So being the skeptic that I am, because it goes with the job, I thought I'd build one and just see exactly how well these things work. Well, I can attest that it does work.
It works well. I like it.
Well, could you heat a room up with it? And the idea behind this is that you can take 4 or 5 of these little tea lights and heat a small room just using the tea lights. And you think, well, these candles can't put out that much heat, right?
Right. Or last for very long.
They do actually put out quite a bit of heat, but most of that heat goes straight up to the ceiling where it's dissipated and lost. Yeah. Okay, so the idea is just try to figure out some way in order to capture the heat a little bit better and distribute it a little bit better. And we'll number crunch here in a little bit, but basically what you do is you take 4 or 5 of these little tea lights. I have a bread pan here. There's lots of different designs out on the internet. This is just a simple one. So you light
the Jesse Miller special?
No, well, I didn't come up with this, but I searched around and found a simple one. So anyway, you light about 4 or 5 of these. You take a small flower pot that has to fit, okay, and you take the one flower pot and you cover the hole up here because you want to trap the heat inside this one. And then you take the larger flower pot and you put it over that, and it's as simple as that. Now what ends up happening is the candles will heat up the air on the inside of this flower pot, and it'll heat this up. We've trapped it here, so it'll heat this up quite a bit. If we were to take the top off that one, the inside one, I've been running that one for about a half an hour, is really, really hot. Now the air comes in, the cooler air comes in from the bottom here, and flows over that hot pot, and it comes out the top. And if you can attest, I know you can't see it on TV, but you can attest, that's pretty warm. And I've been running that for about a half an hour. Now these tea lights will run for about 3 to 4 hours. Okay.
Oh,
and so
really?
you get quite a bit of heat. How much heat are you getting out of this thing, right? Well, I did some number crunching, and candles are pretty well studied. So we know that a tea light like this puts out about 80 watts of power. Okay. Now, that may not mean anything to you. Okay, so that corresponds to about 270 BTUs per hour.
Okay.
Okay, now, in order to heat a small room, let's say 6 by 8 by 9, something like that, or 8 by 12 by 9, it's a small room, right, like a little office room like I have at home, that's okay insulated, it takes about 500 BTUs per hour. Now, 4 of these candles is going to put out about 1,000 BTUs an hour. So you could, that's to raise it 1 degree C, 2 degrees Fahrenheit. About. Okay. So you could, theoretically, with the amount of power produced from these, heat up a small office a couple of degrees, give or take. Right. Okay. Which might make the difference between, being really cold and being a little bit comfortable. So these do put out some heat. I have some concerns. One, it to me is kind of a fire hazard. Now, it's no more of a fire hazard than just burning candles. Right. Okay. Sure. So, but that's what you. If you let's take that off for a second. I'll let you go ahead and do it. Now go ahead and be careful. But you can feel the heat on the inside pot is very, very hot.
It is.
Okay. So if you were to knock this over, like
can I touch it? Do you think?
Well, I don't know.
Don't touch the plate. It's hot.
It is hot.
Yeah, it's a lot warmer.
Hot potato. Hot pot.
And that's why we put the pot over the top of it. And that's to kind of get the convection going, but also to keep you from burning yourself on the outside, on the inside pot. Kids, it might be a little bit dangerous around. Yeah. If you have dogs and stuff like that might knock it over depending upon where you place it. So I have a little problem of using this as your primary heat source. But it is a fun project.
Sure.
And, as a science project, and if you had a small office and you don't have kids, dogs, whatever, and you want to warm your feet, put one of these down, like my desk has an area underneath it that gets really cold, and I usually put a space heater down.
She has 7 of them under her desk.
Everyone likes it when they walk by.
It might be a nice thing. I mean, these aren't very expensive.
Yeah.
And by the way, these have to be clay pots. Okay.
Okay.
Important distinction.
These make good hand warmers, in my opinion.
Could have used that yesterday. Out back.
Yeah, no
kidding. So what we've done is we've taken this heat that normally just goes away and it's very efficient. It's kind of like a fireplace. It's only like 18% efficient, and we're trying to make it more efficient so that heat gets dispersed a little bit more through radiative and also convection. And in this case, I don't know, maybe 50%. Maybe we've raised the efficiency that much. I don't know. But it does seem to, as you can attest, they get pretty warm, and it's good for hand warmer. But if you had it at your feet, it might warm your feet up and stuff like that too. But I see this around the internet, so I wanted to try it, bring it to everybody here, and let you guys make the decision as to whether it would be something you'd want to do. But it is kind of fun.
All right.
You know, just got to be careful.
Nice. All right, Jesse Miller explaining the science behind the trend this morning for us. We appreciate it. We've got more of the morning show coming up next.